It's 20 days to the 2020 virtual annual conference of the Nigerian Institute of Chartered Arbitrators, with the theme Making Arbitration and ADR Alternative Dispute Resolution Work for Africa. This year's event will feature over 15 African and international speakers. Well, joining us now to talk to us on the expectations from this year's event is Shola Oshodi John. She's the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Institute of Chartered Arbitrators. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's begin with the theme of this year, making arbitration and alternative dispute resolution work for Africa. Why has it been difficult to build the culture of arbitration or alternative dispute resolution in Nigeria or in Africa and having sustainable institutions?
Well, like you know, arbitration is just catching up in this part of the continent. And we have made giant strides in creating an arbitration-friendly environment in Nigeria. But because of the way things are over the years, we've been more of a litigation-based state, where litigation has been the main means of resolving disputes in this part of the world. But in the last couple of years, arbitration is beginning to grow steadily, and we are now beginning to have more arbitration centers spring up. We are having the government, the judiciary, and all our key stakeholders getting involved in ensuring that arbitration becomes also a preferred choice for dispute resolution in Nigeria. So the conference this year is to look at how we can push the frontiers further, how we can have other key stakeholders, both internationally and within the African continent, begin to look at the issues that have been a sort of challenge for us as Africans in the arbitration space globally. And so we're bringing in a lot of speakers, international speakers, both from the United Nations, from the World Bank, ECID. Speakers are going to be coming from the US. We have keynote speakers, Mr. George Killer, one of the prominent arbitration practitioners that have, in fact, been involved in one prominent case that Nigeria had in the past that has been on top of the burner in the past few months or years. And so we have top-notch speakers that are going to be here to speak at the conference. And the conference actually, by the way, is free. We also have this conference this year. We're going to be rallying point. Our brothers and sisters from the other African countries, particularly the Francophone countries, are also going to be working with us to ensure that this conference is a big one. So the conference is going to be done in two languages, French and English. We have the Association for the Promotion of Arbitration in Africa. They're also collaborating with us. We have the arbitration place in Canada. They are actually providing technical support for us so that we can have a seamless hosting of the conference. We are partnering with UNCITRA. We have support from UNCITRA. We have support from Arbitra Women, because the conference is meant to be a conference that is diversified in terms of gender mainstreaming, and also we're going to be looking at issues of technology, data, and not to talk about the post-COVID-19. How has it been like? What has the arbitration space fed? What has dispute resolution going to be looking like in the coming days with COVID-19? We all know that in this part of the world we are more of analog people, okay? But now with COVID and with all that's been happening in Nigeria in the last few days, there's a move to have a technologically driven dispute resolution mechanism. So a lot of all of these are going to be looked into. The Nigerian judiciary is not left out of the conversations that we're going to be having.
Good. I hope you can hear me. Yeah, let me just come in a little bit here. Good, fine.
Can you hear me?
You talked about clearly. I just wanted to make sure you can hear me because I was trying to come in.
Okay.
Yeah, you talked about arbitration and litigation.
Yes.
What's the marked difference between the two, and how does each impact on dispute settlement?
Well, there's a major difference between litigation and arbitration, because you know that with litigation, once you are in the court system, you can no longer become friends. But arbitration is more like a gentleman way of resolving disputes that is confidential, and as well as faster. It's a faster process. So all the technicalities that you have to deal with in litigation does not apply in arbitration, particularly with the way our judicial system is right now. And if you know that court dockets are loaded with a lot of cases, and sometimes the case will take you, they will take you about 10, 12 years to move from the court of first instance to the apex court. So there's a lot of challenges involved in litigation. So we believe that with the promotion of arbitration and other alternative dispute resolution mechanisms as a means of dispute settlement will actually, free the courts, and people will have parties, disputants will have a faster means of resolution of their disputes, so that at the end of the day, everybody will be happy. So arbitration, mediation, and other alternative dispute resolution mechanisms are really very important, that the Nigerian state should, as a matter of fact, begin to invest in it, so that there's this alternative for Nigerians to use when they have to resolve dispute. And I know, particularly with the way things are right now all over the world, for arbitration is really the preferred choice, because with arbitration we have actually been able to use technology to have online hearings, and for you to be able to push that further, I believe that arbitration and the key stakeholders in the alternative dispute resolution space will do more to help, Nigerians in their quest for, for justice,
Well, many thanks to you, Mrs. Shola Oshodi John, for joining us today on Newsday to speak more about the 41st Annual Conference of the Nigeria Institute of Chartered Arbitrators. Have a great day, ma'am.